Hello everyone, Chris here with Master CDP Studios, coming at you with a podcast editing tip video inside Studio One. Now, this is obviously only going to apply to you if you edit podcasts, so I'm sure if you don't, you're probably going to think this video is useless, but for those of you that do edit podcasts, this might help speed up your workflow. So I've mentioned before that my cousin and a friend of ours, we host a professional wrestling podcast. We release it every week, every Tuesdays. It's called Our Wrestling Podcast. We release them on YouTube and SoundCloud. So every Friday night, we record two episodes. That way we have several episodes in the can as we're releasing them week by week. So that's one way to speed up that workflow. Have a few episodes in the can, and obviously this only applies if you're actually hosting your own podcast. If you're editing for clients, you can't control, how many episodes they're going to give you in a single time. But the tips that I'm going to give you in here might actually help speed up that workflow if you are editing podcasts for other clients or, someone other than yourself. So one of the things that we do is we will record the episodes on Fridays, and then I mix down the unedited raw WAV file. That way we can all listen to it. We listen through the episode, sift through anything that might not be necessary for the episode. Any dialogue that just not in context with the episode, that's, useless, meaningless, we take out. So my cousin will send me, hey, take out, this portion of dialogue at 30 minutes into the episode, from 30 minute, to 31 minutes, minute, whatever. And then he sends me a list. And now this is where it's going to possibly help you significantly if you are editing podcasts, especially if they're very lengthy episodes. If you're having to sit there through an hour or two episode to edit, that's going to take a long time, but these tips might help speed up that workflow for you. So one of the things that we do in our episodes, we insert sound bites that are obviously related to, whatever the theme of the episode is, or whatever the context of the episode is. We'll insert the sound bites. So, for example, if we're doing like greatest WrestleMania moments, and one of the moments we talk about is Stone Cold turning heel on The Rock when Vince and Stone Cold join forces, we might be talking about it. And at the end of that segment of the episode, we might insert the ending of that match, so maybe 10 seconds of the audio from that match. So what my cousin does is he'll send me a list, text messages. He'll send me a list, the name of the soundbite, the timestamp of where to place it in the episode, and the YouTube link. Because what I do, now this might help you if you are inserting sound bites into the episode. What I'll do is I have my phone, I'll use the auxiliary cable to plug in my phone into my audio interface into Studio One. All I do is go to that text message, that long list of sound bites that my cousin sends in a single text, click the YouTube link, record the audio into Studio One with that sound bite. So one of the few things I do, one of two ways you can do it, I either create a single track and I record all the sound bites, all the different individual sound bites on the one track, because what you can do, so let's say I already have an example here laid out for you guys. So let's just pretend these are all different individual sound bites that I'm going to insert throughout the episode. What you can do, and it's very simple, is if you record all the different sound bites onto one track, you can literally just drag them down, each individual sound bite, drag them down, and it'll automatically create a track for that sound bite. So you could do it that way. Or another way that I do it is if I already have the list and I get to the editing after the list has been sent to me of all the sound bites, I'll just create each individual track and I'll name them already, and I'll go down, I'll just start the cursor, the time stamp at the beginning. I'll record all the sound bites in each individual track. I'll just solo the track that I'm recording on. I'll just go down and I'll just individually record them that way onto each track. And then this may be the tip where it'll help you if you do it that way. If that's your workflow, if you have to insert sound bites into a podcast that you're editing and you record all those sound bites, or you get all the audio, however you get the audio for the episode of those sound clips, you have all those ready to place throughout the episode. All I do, for example, let's just say I need to insert a soundbite at 10 minutes 5 seconds. As you can see, my mouse cursor down here, I'm manually inputting the timestamp. Your cursor will automatically go. So you insert the time manually down here, and you hit enter. and the cursor will automatically go to that time stamp, that time marker. And then all I'm doing is if I have all my audio clips already in place or inserted inside Studio One already, I'm just dragging them to that cursor. So if I have, 10 audio bytes or 10 sound clips that I need to put in the episode, I'm just going down, I'm manually inserting the time down here. And then when the cursor gets there, I'm just dragging the audio file right to that cursor. Now, of course, you have to edit, like if your dialogue is segueing into that soundbite, you're going to have your audio fade out while the soundbite fades in, and then it's going to fade out and your dialogue is going to come back in. So of course you still have to do all that. But as far as placing each soundbite throughout the episode, like I said, if you have a lengthy episode that you're editing and you have, 10, 15 soundbites you got to put in, this might help. This might help you, especially if you've done all the other edits, like if you cut out dialogue that's not necessary for the podcast, this or that, or if you're starting with audio bites, because that's what I do, because I'm giving him the raw file before I put in like the intro of the episode or anything. I'm inserting those sound bites first, because if I move the dialogue around, like let's say I have to move the dialogue to insert the intro, now the timestamps is going to be off from the text message that I got of where to place the sound bites. It's going to be off because I moved the dialogue. So now the audio is not going to be in the same timestamp that it was when we listened to the raw file and when my cousin sent me the list of those sound bites. So I hope that helps you guys speed up your workflow for your podcast. I know it's kind of a lengthy video, but I figured, hey, I edit a podcast every week with my cousin and my friend. We edit it and we put it out every week. Maybe there's some people out there that edit a podcast of their own and they want to speed up that workflow. Or if they're editing for clients, that's a good way to speed up the workflow for editing podcasts inside Studio One. And I'm sure it works in any other DAW as well. I'm sure they have the same features. I'm sure they allow you to manually input the time of where you want the cursor to land. So I hope this has helped you guys. Once again, this is Chris with Master CDP Studios, giving you some tips on how to edit podcasts inside Studio One. Thank you.